COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. Symptoms of this respiratory disease may include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. These symptoms may show up 2 to 14 days after exposure. If you are experiencing these symptoms and have come into contact or are in an area with an ongoing outbreak, please call a hotline and/or consult with a physician. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. For more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
Welcome to CineQuest Video.
Martial arts champion in search of the glow.
Master, I need more time.
I am no longer your master.
A rock and roll star on the rise.
I know what it's like to lose precious things.
A madman.
Shogun of Harlem.
A maniac.
You're gonna put my video on your show, aren't you?
The answer is no.
And the glamour, the power, and the sound of Motown.
I don't want you to kill anybody.
Are you out of your mind? The Leeroy Greene I'm looking for is a little punk who thinks he's a kung fu master.
I am no master.
You sure look like a master to me.
This is Barry Gordy's About the Power of the Glow. Timok, Vanity. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon, directed by Michael Schultz, a Motown Productions picture from TriStar.
Okay, so welcome to CineQuest Video, episode number I don't remember. If you haven't gathered by now, we're going to be talking about the movie The Last Dragon, round 2.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah. The remix.
The remix, yeah. Okay, so, and I think the intro we normally do is CineQuest Video, the podcast that delves deep into those VHS classics to the modern day format and beyond. Beyond
coronavirus.
Yeah, actually.
Wow, Roland broke it up there, but yeah.
Speaking of which, we're all in our self-quarantine areas in our respective undisclosed locations.
And solo bunkers.
But yet we still podcast for the listener.
Well, I'll say where I am. I am at the Pacific Northwest headquarters of MoQuest Studios. Yeah.
I dare you to find that out.
I am in their primary studio.
And I'm in the centralized version of MoQuest Studios here in
You know what I love about the Pacific Northwest Studios facilities?
And what's that?
They always know to stock Founders All Day IPA for me.
That sounds horrible. Yeah.
It's
Ray is.
It's really kind that the company pulls a little bit out of the budget just for a little old Darkwing drunk. It's great.
You know what's great about that, Daniel? Speaking of which, the studio here in South Texas actually got me a Founders DKML for my birthday. And
yes, the Western Division, yes.
Yeah, yes. That's right.
Yeah, where Jamie is the studio manager. Yeah,
that's
right.
That's right, yeah. And they decided to supply me with one of these beers that has 14% alcohol in order for me to record with ease and comfort.
Lucidity.
Yeah. What about you, Roland? How's your studio management going on in your neck of the woods?
My undisclosed location in the area right above
the central southern Texas studio, right
above the butt crack of MoQuest Studios. I am situated.
Have they provided any amenities for you?
Everybody can get 2 packs of baby wipes, and there are no more paper towels.
That's a shame.
That is the I guess that is the important news of import here currently. Otherwise,
tap water today. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Best. I love filtered tap water. Tasty.
So for those of you who are actually, if you're hearing this at the time that you're still quarantined, we hope you enjoy, and you should check out the movie The Last Dragon, which is the movie we're going to discuss right this second.
So, do you guys know much about? I mean, I know the both of you have seen this one way the hell more than I have, but
I think that's an understatement, Roland. All right.
That is very,
it is. But for the purposes of this recording, it's also useful to mention, right? But did you guys know much about like the actors or the set itself or the cast?
The only person I knew
outside of the movie
was the name Berry Gordy when I was a kid, because I mean I've heard like the Motown shit and stuff like that.
He wrote it
and I knew who Vanity was.
Okay,
and that's because
just like one name, hot. Okay,
as a child, I did not even know that Berry Gordy was attached to this project. I just knew it was The Last Dragon, and Chris and I would talk about it endlessly. We fucking love this movie. So today I called Chris, right? Well, we reconnected, right? And because he got into a situation, I'll call you back. And what the fuck did I tell him? Oh, yeah. This is not a punishment. And then he just harped back, this is a celebration. Oh, no, I said, this is a celebration. He goes, but Master, why? He knew exactly what fucking movie I was talking about. Like,
cool.
So yeah, I only knew this as The Last Dragon. Later, when I was an adult and I was looking back at it, I was like, wait, Berry Gordy was attached to this project? What the fuck? And I was like, oh wait, that makes sense with all the fucking music. What
was the name of it? Motown
Records.
Yeah, bro, records. Come on now.
That he like ran everything out of.
The Temptations, honey.
Yeah.
Are you not familiar?
That's one thing I love about a lot of the music of they played in the interludes and shit. It was so reminiscent of that old Motown sound.
Music, yeah. Roland, are you familiar with any Motown music?
I mean, I couldn't name anything, but probably.
Temptations, My Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All of that.
I think Diana Ross was a part of that too, I believe.
I believe so, yeah. I mean, like a bunch of fucking artists, and not necessarily like people you necessarily like associate with the Motown sound were like attached to that. Names are escaping me, but I mean, it was a major record label for a hot minute.
That's
man.
right.
Like,
it was like hits.
I mean, major. I mean, people hit Motown; they were excited. You know,
I think there was like a movie I saw with the Temptations, I believe, where the studio was called Hitsville, USA, or some shit like that, because they were like fucking cranking out the hits all the time.
Word.
But anyways, I did know Vanity, and the only reason I knew Vanity was because she was on MTV, and she was one of Prince's.
Oh yeah, it said something about how he discovered her.
Yeah, and she had like all these very provocative types of videos that, as a young 13-year-old boy, made my wee move, you know. So.
Old man 13.
I didn't know what to think, you know, but that's you actually she does come out in the movie Action Jackson with fucking Carl Weathers. and
wow.
And Craig T. Nelson, who's the villain in that movie. Do you know who Craig T. Nelson is? He's Coach. He was also the dad from Poltergeist. No? Anyone?
I have watched as a child. Coach was on USA in the mornings or some shit.
Right.
Yeah. That and what was it? Major Dad and all those other terrible fucking shows.
Yeah. So again, she did come out in a movie, which I had it was on one of those 3 VHS movie recordings that normally collected, recording from HBO, all those kinds of. Well, I had Action Jackson on there, and the thing is, there's a scene where she takes off her top and you see her boobies. So I mean, that was one of those regular rewound moments for me, like in secret, you know. I put the movie in. I kind of know roughly exactly where the scene happens, and I pause it. And as a 13-year-old boy back in like 1986, 7, I ponder the universe and think, what do I do with no blood in my brain? But yeah.
So, Roland, to answer your question you posed earlier about like if we knew a lot about like the location and the actors and stuff, I did check out a couple videos that, like other podcasty kind of dudes that were talking about Last Dragon themselves, and I can't remember who the fuck I was looking at. There was one, I think it was called like Good Bad Movies or Good Bad Films. And they only had nice things to say about fucking Last Dragon. But some of the facts they brought up was like, for the dance scenes in the movie, they brought in the dance coordinator from Saturday Night Fever.
Okay.
And who was that?
I didn't write down his name.
You know what I was thinking when you said that, and I think Sylvester Stallone was the guy that trained John Travolta to get all buff and shit. But I don't know if Saturday Night Fever is Staying Alive, which was a sequel.
Wasn't there like a Motown record like artist or whatever, like the people that played in that group in the club?
Debarge?
Weren't they like registered? Yeah, Debarge.
Yeah. Well, like apparently, and this is something I read like years ago about like Berry Gordy. Apparently, like Motown wasn't doing super well at the time because music trends were changing or whatever. So Berry Gordy was more than happy to attach himself to this allegedly or whatever. He might come kill me or send his agents after me if he's still alive, or his estate might. But it's something like, attaching the music to this movie was a good like business move for him.
Right.
So yeah, all the music on there was Motown related.
You know, Roland. Speaking of the Debarge, I mean, I don't know how many times you've seen this movie since the first round that we did of CineQuest, but I have been obsessed with the soundtrack since I was 13 years old.
I love this soundtrack. It's so good.
I do dig the soundtrack a lot.
The rhythm of the night song from Debarge is a song I jam to. It's my fucking jam on the frequent. It's insane how many times I've heard this song.
So one thing I was thinking about was how it's like how Motown was going to spin these songs that were written exclusively for The Last Dragon as singles or like B-sides for the artists that are trying to promote. And so it's like, it's interesting how they might have been like, yes, Motown Records is really into like Chinese mythology now, and so that's what all this dragon shit's about. Because there's 3 tracks on there to talk about. Well, there's one about the glow, and then 2 about one called The Last Dragon, and one about being a dragon. That was played within the first like 15 minutes of the movie.
Well, the actor that plays Bruce Leeroy is I don't think he was. I don't know that he was at the time, but I know has studied under several different types of kung fu martial arts.
The thing is, he is a legit martial artist. And what's funny is that also in this video I was watching that I got some of those factoids about from. So the guy who played Sho Nuff, he didn't know martial arts at all.
Nope, he was just a fucking like.
And then for Timok, they had to like give him a trainer that taught him kind of the more like softer styles, like less aggressive styles of like martial arts. And then they taught the dude, Jules Carey, I believe his name was. They taught him the aggressive, I guess, ankle biting bullshit.
He was apparently a method actor, like on set the whole time as Sho Nuff. So like, I can only imagine. That's fucking funny. Experience. They said that if anybody did anything like cracked at him sideways, he'd at the very least walk up to them and stare them down, like as wearing those giant football fucking like
shoulder pads.
I mean, the dude was 6'5" to begin with, so I could figure,
he was 6'5". Like
that wouldn't be too difficult. Like
he was massive,
considering he's a goddamn giant. But all the same, like the method act Sho Nuff.
I want to give you guys a little bit of a trivia on Timok. You guys said he is a martial artist, but it's showing that he worked with a number of celebrities, and he starred in a hit off-Broadway show in 2004 called Roadhouse the Comedy, based on the Patrick Swayze film Roadhouse. That
Holy
is
shit.
fucking
The guy still
amazing.
works somehow.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Like they talk about this movie being his big break and like how it didn't work out, but like he still ended up doing, like he ended up getting a lot of like I guess minor
TV roles,
minor
and
gigs.
stuff,
Since then.
And just
apparently like the reason they didn't make sequels to this was just because like they offered him a contract, but like he thought he was being undersold, and so he.
Well, you know why, Roland? Do you know how much money this movie made? I think it was like opening weekend.
No, I don't.
I don't remember the budget stats, but they made $33 million.
They only had.
Oh wow!
They only had. They only had a
failure.
Well, they had a budget of $10 million, so they tripled their money.
Yeah, easily. They only wanted to offer him like $100,000 or something less, or I forgot what it was.
Yeah, that's a small. I mean, without.
Yeah,
well, the thing is, without him,
understand.
there's no Bruce Leeroy, man. I mean, who the fuck are you gonna put on there? You know.
So I think what he probably might have wanted to consider is to like take the contract and then try to renegotiate or push for renegotiation down the line, depending on like how the sales had gone or how the brand, I guess, developed, and that. At the time, like he apparently was just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't trust it, so I'm out.
And some of the martial arts that he has received black belts in, just another list here. It's Goju Ryu Karate, Jeet Kune Do, which is Bruce Lee's main thing. Wing Chun, Hapkido, Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he's studied under the Goju, Chinese Goju, the black dragon.
Yeah, the black dragon. What was his name? Don Cleef or something like
it's
that.
Ron Van Cleef or some shit like that.
There we go, Ron Van Cleef.
That doesn't sound very Asian.
No.
Racist ass motherfuckers. But
Ron Van Cleef.
I did. But the thing is, I was interested because I was looking up all this shit today. I fell into a little like martial arts research hole and read about like 7 different types of martial arts and their origins. Because there's a scene in the movie for our listeners who don't know anything about really the plot about this movie really yet or anything, but it's wait, let me look it up. Chinese Goju is my secret. I bear no arms. May God help me if I ever have to use my art. Conscience is our guide. Peace is our shelter. And beauty and perfection is our life. Yeah.
That's a little mantra he says to
his students in his dojo.
But he also says that before he eats, no? I could have sworn he said that shit.
He had some sort of prayer. I didn't really like. Yeah. I kind of like, for some reason, I tuned that scene out a little bit when I was watching it today. Maybe I was looking at my phone or some bullshit. But so perhaps we maybe should. Do you want to maybe talk about the plot of this movie, Ray? Kind of intro it for our folks. Maybe get into it a little bit.
So a little bit of a synopsis of this movie is that it's set in New York City, 80s, obviously. And it follows a martial artist named Leeroy Greene, also known as Bruce Leeroy. And he has Bruce Leeroy. He's pretty much wants to be like Bruce Lee, you know? And he's pretty much kind of an outcast in his whole family and pretty much in the entire city, to be honest with you. And he wears the whole, I don't know the correct term for the getup, but it's an Asian getup. You can see it in most Bruce Lee movies like Chinese Connection and...
the slang term is coolie that was used a lot of times in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for our listeners who are like kind of like those stereotypes and like to joke about them, you know, right. Or just it's humorous, you know.
Right.
The guy.
These are all jokes, guys. Yeah. These are all fucking jokes. Please don't fucking, you know,
no one had
demonetize us forever, potentially.
And again, I mean, if at some point, by now, with as many episodes as we have, you've heard a lot of these jokes before. I mean, I don't know what to tell you if you get upset about them, but I don't think you will if you're still listening. So
yeah, if you keep coming back, then like that's like the wife who just keeps going back to her husband after he's like punched her in the face and thrown beer bottles at her.
Oh, shit.
You know,
toxic relationship, and you love us,
and you love us, right, bitch? Now get me a beer, thanks.
Bruce Leeroy Greene is actually he has a family that does own a pizzeria called Daddy Green's Pizza, and he's known around town as pretty much a guy who can kick ass, but no one's really seen him kick ass. He trains.
Yeah, he's called Bruce Leeroy.
Yeah, he trains under
bullets with his,
and he catches bullets with his teeth. Apparently,
allegedly,
yeah,
he has all these bullshit
yeah.
Superman tales about his ass.
Yeah, there you go.
As Sho Nuff says, like kind of later in the movie, but
yeah. So like, and it's pretty much just about a guy who's going through New York in the '80s, who's an outcast. His focus is martial arts and martial arts only. And he gets mixed up into all this kinds of trouble with a character named Sho Nuff and a guy named Eddie Arcadian. And he has to fight his way through all this madness to kind of get the girl and find the glow.
Discover the glow.
Yeah. That's as much
protect his family, protect his community, man.
Right, survive, live.
Well, I mean, at this point, you kind of don't.
No. Leeroy is one of the first black superheroes in film.
You could, yeah. Well,
this movie is a superhero movie. It really is.
That's kind of true. Yeah, I mean,
and there's a supervillain, man. There are supernatural things at play here.
That's very true, and you only find that out until towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, but really, it turns out no, this is a fucking superhero movie, guys, and. It's a martial arts superhero movie with a Motown musical as a background.
It's a dramatic martial arts action film with superhero elements and a wicked soundtrack in the background. That's pretty much it.
See how we said the same thing but different, Ray?
Yeah, it is.
No, hey.
Yeah. Guys, you got there.
So, Roland, what's your reformulation of our same idea?
Yeah.
I don't care to argue. That sounded cool.
Well, the main reason we're doing this movie is because, again, going along with our theme for the year is the best, worst villains, and right now we're still at our best villains.
This is definitely
actually
kind of situation.
We have both going on in this movie.
That's true. That's very true because we do have two villains in this movie. We have Shogun and Eddie Arcadian and
Sho Nuff.
Sho Nuff and Eddie Arcadian, and he's the Shogun. Sho Nuff is the Shogun of Harlem, and I keep kind of like
Shogun of Harlem.
Yeah, and I keep kind of like mixing those words up. But we do have Eddie Arcadian, which is probably like the worst villain, and then we have Sho Nuff, who's the best villain.
One of the best villains. Yeah.
Sho Nuff is the madman. Eddie Arcadian is the maniac. I think it's how the trailer sort of lists them. And he's I guess he's got goofy crazy eyes like the whole fucking movie or whatever. So
that's true.
He
does. He has like the good.
He has this one look.
He has like the look of a really shitty villain. Like he has that. He's bald. He's bald.
Like,
he has.
Balding,
he has.
He can't tie a bow tie in a mirror.
He can't.
Fucking pussy. Fucking.
And
what kind of a man is that?
He has a very good delivery of like when he's angry. He gets his little like raspy voice, and when he gets really angry, you know.
Yeah,
and he's tiny, so he has like that Napoleon complex.
And he's a light switch, man. He can go from like saying like sweet things to his boo to like straight up just like then shut it or whatever the fuck. You're like,
yeah, he does that like
shut up,
hide crap. Cool.
And clean your face. No.
And as far as villains,
fix your face. That's what he says.
As far as villains are concerned, Eddie Arcadian has a henchman, has one henchman. And Sho Nuff has a whole posse of people.
He's got a posse, man.
That's right.
And one of his posse members offers some great exposition for the movie. And I think it's funny because the character was Beast. Because
example, please.
In the movie theater, when they first show up, and after Sho Nuff like passes the little kid over, he interrogates us like, "Who's the guy who can kick my ass?" or whatever, and that Beast Leeroy, and then he fucking hands the kid over one of his goons, and then Sho Nuff goes to go confront Leeroy And then then Beast is like, that's the only guy that stands between the show and total supremacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie, he's just this like, he's called Beast. He's a complete asshole, just terrorist, and it's fucking hilarious. That just didn't dawn on me till today when I watched it. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. That's comic gold.
He pretty much gave
from New York.
He gave out his like. It took those few words for the exposition of the movie to see that this is the battle that has to go on through the entire fucking movie. Just that there's the few lines that he does say that that it's between Bruce Leeroy and Sho Nuff the whole fucking movie. And at some point, they're gonna have to battle to see who is the ultimate. Who's the master? Exactly. So since we are focusing on,
and at that point, in this interaction between Sho Nuff and Leeroy, and we'll get onto these other like points soon, but I found something very interesting today, and it's all because of all of the shit I've been reading in Weirdville. So, Sho Nuff called Leeroy a skinny little lizard. So. I think Sho Nuff might have been actually the hero of this movie. So was he really fighting the reptilian conspiracy the only way he knew how? Like, he didn't care about the social niceties or bullshit like that. Like he's had to eradicate the threat. Like, and he identified fucking Bruce Leeroy as a fucking reptilian. And so he fucking was just trying to take him out. And so I think Sho Nuff was actually, and so this is a movie that the reptilians put out to basically mentally condition us to the fact that they're in control, they have the glow, and they're gonna fucking rule us forever.
Daniel, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I've told you to go into this whole UFO conspiracy hole.
Sold on it.
And we haven't really talked about it.
No, yeah.
You have no idea what the fuck I've been thinking about. Like, holy shit. Like, this will be fun when we get into Valley Strange episodes later on. So, listeners, if you're still with us, please check out Valley Strange episodes where you can find all sorts of cool shit that we talk about that's of the occult and spooky and strange and ooh.
That's right.
During this quarantine of quality,
right? And soon you can hear about reptilians, time travel.
It's good. It's a
ancient societies,
hole, right?
Modern secret societies.
It's a pretty deep hole.
Yeah.
And then we fell into a one yesterday with the whole G5 nonsense.
Yes. Okay. No,
5G.
No,
5G,
I'm not gonna. I can't get into it right now because it's just gonna like derail the conversation of this movie. Because I watched more today, so like
we should talk about this though. Yeah, because I watched more too. Like, yeah.
Okay, so we want to get into the fact that we want to talk about all of Sho Nuff's best villain scenes. Since, again, he is the best villain in this. So I guess at first we are introduced to Sho Nuff, I want to say probably about 20 minutes into the movie, roughly. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure. It's pretty early on for like the hour and... Wait, let me check the runtime real quick. I have the... right. It's an hour 48 runtime.
Hour 48, right.
Total, yeah, with credits and shit.
So... we're introduced to Shogun and his posse in the movie.
Sho Nuff.
Sorry, I keep saying that shit. Sho Nuff in the movie theater, where
actually we see Sho Nuff as early as
the movie theater.
No, but he's giving like a timestamp. Yeah, timestamp here.
Oh, keep talking, Ray. I'll get it in a sec.
Okay, so again, we're in the movie theater where. In New York City, they're watching Enter the Dragon.
As early as 9 minutes.
Whoa, it's 9 minutes. No shit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's a lot.
I mean, the first bit of the movie was just like that little training montage, and then, Bruce Leeroy is like wandering around city, and then boom, they jump into the movies.
That's right.
And he just happened to be there, kind of, as an aside to the plot, right?
Well, so we're introduced to Sho Nuff and his posse. And basically, that's when we see Bruce Leeroy and Sho Nuff interact for the first time. Where, again, please watch this movie because that whole dialogue between them two is fucking hilarious. He says a lot of things I would like to repeat right now, but I'm not gonna. But his delivery,
we can't.
Yeah, his delivery is so great.
What is his phrase about his hands that he tells him?
The scene, the thing he says is like, after he says his whole delivery and he wants to like fight right there in the movie theater, and he says, "Get up, Leeroy! I got something real for your ass in these hands." And he goes, I got something real for your ass in these hands. He goes, because the Shogun is back on the scene, and the Shogun is the master. And then we start in on the whole, why don't you sit down and shut up? And there's some random person telling him sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
And the fight will ensue after that.
Yeah, the audience jumps or tries to, rather.
The random audience members kind of trying to kick his ass, and he pretty much beats the shit out of all of them, yeah.
Like, try to Bruce Lee his way up there, and I think he just gets, like, stomped in the face.
Well, he gets his fucking ankle broken. You know, that main guy towards the end, he gets his ankle broken, and then Shogun fucking bites his fucking ankle.
Like bites him in the foot.
One thing I'd like to point out with this movie in general is with the like watching Bruce Lee movies in theaters in like African American neighborhoods, like that was a thing, man. That was how Wu-Tang came up. They all went to the theaters. They all watched those tapes. You know,
right, yeah.
That was very New York, like Harlem and other areas, like in the 80s. So there's a real nice like snapshot to like kind of almost
like huge blunts. The audience.
Oh yeah. I think the last time, Roland, you mentioned the guy who's fucking smoking a fucking huge blunt.
Oh yeah.
Then like
then those dudes are smoking a J. At least that one guy. The three guys at the factory.
The fortune cookie factory.
I don't know what.
Right?
Like, the like pack of street tough
Yeah.
that break out the ghetto blaster and start popping and locking right there in the middle of the.
And one crazy stupid fact that like I laughed at that this other podcast brought up, but I'm going to bring it here just because it's funny. But they're like, like culturally, it's kind of interesting because this movie put some sort of things on its head because you have black people acting like as Asian folks, and then you have Asian folks adopting black culture. Like, man, fuck you guys, man. It's called multiculturalism. Get over it. It's a thing.
Well, actually. And again, to our listeners, if you haven't subscribed to our Patreon, you may want to do so at this particular time, because again, we are doing a round 2 of this movie because the first one didn't come out that great. So, but we did bring up that point in the last episode. Daniel, I think I don't know if Roland said that.
I was so sick. God damn it! Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
I'm sorry we're doing this again.
That's all right. We're doing a better we're doing a better version, but I'm gonna post that up on Patreon. So if you happen to subscribe to that, you'll hear that version of it.
I totally don't remember that happening, so my apologies.
Well, actually, Roland brought it up that. Whenever he goes to the guys that are making the fortune cookies, which is the master that he's on the search for,
some guy.
And you guys said that a bunch of times, and I bought into it until it clicked. Yes, Roland, it is some dumb guy, not some dumb guy.
Yes. You were gonna say goy.
It's goy. Yeah. and I actually was talking to Bryce about this. Those of you who have listened to past episodes, Bryce is one of our podcast contributors. We were talking about Wayne's World, and whenever he said,
and your boss,
and my boss, yeah, and we were talking about the fact in Wayne's World where they say the cream of some young guy.
Yeah.
and I was telling him that while we were doing this episode, you all kept saying some dumb guy, and I was like, I was like, man, I didn't catch that, and then I realized it's some dumb guy, but it could be the same thing. They just changed the lettering, you know.
Then
maybe it was intentional, maybe it wasn't. I really don't know. So
Was it expand your mind, Ray? Yes.
Yeah, and let me expand my mind to get those subtle jokes in there.
Speaking of subtle jokes, neither you or Bryce laughed at the one I made earlier on Discord, and I'm kind of upset with you guys.
Regarding?
How when I asked like if Bryce was going to play today, and he said, "Nah, gotta sell books to people who don't have toilet paper." Then I said, "Bummer, man. Well, at least the books won't just sit on either shelf."
I did read that, but
didn't get the little joke in there. I guess.
I think I had
the toilet shelf.
Right to the bum.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys, man. That's funny. Fuck you guys, man. Fuck you guys. Because people go to the bookstore because they can't find toilet paper. So they're gonna.
But you don't know that like the people at Ray's store they don't even go to make it as far as the bathroom. They just shit in the aisles, and Ray has to go to the bathroom to get the fucking toilet paper to bring into the store.
I wonder if
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's happened before. Right?
I wonder how cynical the bookstore owners that I went to go buy a bunch of crazy stuff. Maybe there's like. He's in a toilet paper shortage. He's a Christian radicalist or some sort of like weird guy. He's buying all this weird stuff just to wipe his ass with
on the shelf.
You know.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Because literally, dude's like the last little haul at the bookstore. I got like $50 worth of shit. And I'm super stoked. I got like 8 books and like
cool.
I almost bought yesterday the Earth Chronicles #2 from Zachariah Stitchin.
Oh, word, dude! I picked up
Still waiting for you.
What did I pick up? I just looked around. One second, let me turn around and look at it.
Still waiting for them books, Ray.
Yeah, relax.
Yeah, isn't it convenient like this? How this virus hits just when I ask you to do me a solid.
You know what?
Like,
maybe it just,
my hours got cut.
It just means the universe is in its right place, right?
Yeah, for some, for screw them. Talking about me.
Oh, I got the Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, that's part 2, right?
I'm not sure. I also have like another one of his books. So I think I got them like I have like the first one, whatever the fuck it's called, End of Days or whatever.
Yeah.
I got that one and. I bought them on separate occasions, same store or whatever. Unfortunately, like it's a local bookstore or used bookstore, so it's not like a half price book, so it's like super cheap to get shit. I think like the cheapest book I've got there's like $5.
Cool.
Right.
Which sucks, but buy local, I guess. Buy all their weird alien stuff and conspiracy shit. Oh wow. I got that book on postmodern magic I really want to get into, but I've got too much crazy right now. I can't get into magic right yet.
Okay, so let's just go back to the movie here. And
we weren't talking about Last Dragon? Shit.
So we left off from the theater where we were introduced to Sho Nuff. Then we're going to go on to the next phase in which we're introduced to Eddie Arcadian, which is the worst villain of this movie. And Eddie Arcadian is like the, I guess the video game king god.
No, he's the video king. Like he's not. Yeah. Like there's nothing about video games really. Are you confusing this with fucking Steel?
I'm probably confusing it with Wayne's World and the guy. I'm still confusing it with Wayne's World here.
Nice.
But yeah, so Eddie Arcadian is the video king, and he has a woman. I completely forget her fucking name.
What's the name of
her? Angela something Italian sounding.
Queen of Rock.
Yeah, something like that.
But she's a total like Cyndi Lauper parody.
Yeah, she really is. And he makes videos for her with her music and whatnot, and it's just bad. Yeah. It's just bad shit. And he wants, I guess, the biggest I guess in that particular area.
She wants like a record deal or whatever.
Well, she wants like.
Oh well, the thing is, have we talked about what Vanity's character does? What Vanessa?
That's what we're getting into. He wants
Vanessa Charles.
Vanessa, Vanessa Charles, which is like the biggest I guess in this neighborhood or this area. She has like a show called Seventh Heaven, and they play a lot of videos and they become hits and stuff like that. She's pretty much a VJ. Is pretty much what she is. And
it's like
he wants her to play this chick's videos in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because on that same video, like they were talking about how, that Seventh Heaven was kind of a parody of Soul Train.
Right, yeah.
Or an homage to it or whatever.
That's true.
And they actually did rent out an actual dance club for a month for shooting of all the dance scenes and shit and the fight scenes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that massive fight scene that we'll talk about later, which is amazing, that shit was shot in 2 days.
No shit.
2 fucking days for that massive kung fu brawl. Like, I wonder how many fucking cameras they had running around in reality, because who knows what hit the cutting floor,
True.
Oh, you mean none of this was shown as extras in the Blu-ray?
Roland, I haven't gotten the Blu-ray version yet, and I will. I just have the DVD version.
Oh,
and
which is just the movie. Yeah,
and I'll tell you right now, like,
expect nothing less.
I will pay good money to get this on Blu-ray. All right, and I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it exists on Blu-ray yet.
It does. It does.
It does?
It does, yeah.
Ooh, so maybe we should pay good money for it because maybe a great in my collection.
That's right, yeah.
That would be the only Blu-ray video I've ever bought.
Find a place where we can.
Well,
if Pootie Tang were available on Blu-ray, I would have bought Blu-ray.
Let me tell you something. As far as Blu-ray is concerned, I just recently started purchasing some, and the first things I did purchase were Ninja 3 Domination. Right? I purchased Breaking 1 and 2. And I mean, I haven't purchased Last Dragon yet because I just haven't purchased it yet. It wasn't in the store. And I purchased Ernest Goes to Joe. And a few other, but the very first Blu-ray I ever bought without owning a Blu-ray player was Batman 1989 version.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which has a whole bunch of special features, which I haven't seen yet, but I did want that because it was a steelbook version of it, and I had to buy it. So,
ooh,
yeah. So back to the movie. Again, Eddie Arcadian is the guy who wants Vanessa Charles to play this video. She refuses. He takes action against her, tries to like rob her, kidnap her. And Leeroy Greene intercepts these guys and
be there to save her.
And kicks.
Well, they're basically like
ass,
it sounds like they're trying to mug her or whatever, and he's just like around the block, so he runs up and like
beats the shit out of him.
Oh, because he just happens by like because she's leaving a show and she has all these fans trying to get autographs and shit, and she gets into her car and turns out the driver is not her real driver. And he pulls up like a block and a half away, and then like these dudes are like, get in the car, and start screaming bloody murder. And just happens a fucking martial arts expert is within shouting distance, literally. He goes and whips the fuck out of these guys. And before she can even say thank you, he disappears into the night.
And I mean,
and there's some ASMR for you guys.
As
he swoops away.
We talked about this at some point, but she is very thirsty for his junk.
For his glow.
Thirsty does not aptly describe how much she wants his dick.
She is like, clinging on to dear life for that one like drop of poontang or whatever throughout the whole movie.
That's very true. Yeah.
But I think she plays the role of the patient hunter or whatever, or maybe the persistent thought of persistence. Because eventually the end, like he finally wises up, like, oh, it's a girl, and all right, she kind of likes me. Maybe I'll do something throughout the whole fucking movie, like Bruce Leroy's character is annoying as shit.
So
You know,
He runs at it like the kung fu fucking Boy Scout or whatever. Throughout this whole thing,
but how these characters get entwined is there is a medallion that Leroy was given by his master upon like the completion of his like final level or whatever.
Training.
He drops it like a goon, and she scoops it up, and somehow they hook back up, and she's trying to fuck the shit out of him for.
Can I get you something to drink?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. We haven't talked about this scene yet because there's the second Eddie Arcadian Goons scene that leads to the scene. So continue, Ray, with your narrative. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Where
right, because Bruce Lee doesn't. So he saves her ass the first time.
Yeah, he saves her ass first time, loses her shit,
actually does it
or loses his shit. Yeah,
movie, and that's when you'll bring up the bit again about how her thirst spills forth or whatever in the apartment, or how it does rather. So like after he saves her the first time, I think it like starts to introduce the family. I guess to the movie. That's when you meet his little bitchy brother Ritchie. I fucking hate
bitchy Ritchie.
Yeah, it was bitchy.
Hate that little bastard. Like the whole time, he's like a fucking like a 12-year-old fucking G money or whatever.
He's like if Gary Coleman had natural growth development.
Right, yeah. He's like running around in leather pants like more than half the movie or whatever. It's little fucking like 12-year-old fucking flyboy. I don't know what to call this stupid ass. He's annoying as shit. So what was the phrase or whatever the for the pizzeria?
Just direct your pizza to Daddy Green's Pizza.
There you go.
Yeah. I was trying to. So like that's when they introduced the father, who's just like seems like just so sort of like no nonsense, kind of like work yourself hard at something you love kind of stereotype.
He was the model for Friday's dad.
Yeah, that's what it is. So like at some point, like we would have been listening to him like taking mad shits and
I say play for 45 minutes, you know.
Yeah. That type of personality. And the mom, I think she has like, she just seems normal. I don't know, just eat your peas and your carrots.
She is as bland as the replacement mom in Family Matters.
See you at church on Sundays. Yeah, exactly.
I am pretty proud of that joke that I just thought of.
Shit.
And then you have fucking Bruce Leroy as like,
you fried the baby sister, man.
Oh, that's right.
Who doesn't have a clear name.
Oh, by the way, that sister in the movie is Rudy from The Cosby Show.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was supposedly her first role.
Well, she said, thank you so well. I can see why she broke into stardom.
Yeah, holy shit. I completely forgot about her.
It was all broken up and shit.
Yeah, that's right. What did, like, Bruce Leroy gives her like a gift or something? Or
gives her chopsticks, man.
Chopsticks, yeah.
There we go. To a toddler. Like,
this isn't problematic at all.
She's yeah, exactly. Like, anyway, so that's when what sort of happens?
Eddie gets pissed off that because the guys come back after getting fucked up and they're like, there were a bunch of big black guys that beat us up or whatever. It was crazy. And then so Eddie sends his main goon, Rocky or Rocco, or what was his fucking name?
The
Rock. It's Rock, yeah.
The Great
Rock,
White
there you
Fail,
go.
or whatever the hell that.
The Great White Hopeless. Yeah. So he's like, take care of her, Rock, and bring her back alive or whatever. So they concocted, and actually is a pretty brilliant scheme, actually, because Rock has like a headset on and like a clipboard, and he goes into the fucking studio as Vanessa Charles preparing for an episode or for whatever. And there's apparently some like technical difficulty change up thing, and they have to get her into the trailer for some like line change or whatever. Yeah. And boom, they abduct her ass. But good old Leeroy happens to be there because
his brother
he
was
is trying to like go with his.
right?
He basically begs his little brother into taking him to a taping because he's trying to find his fucking medallion.
Right.
So she gets abducted. He's sitting on a fucking crate right outside. Apparently tracks him down, goes full ninja form.
That's right.
So anyway,
fucking
Eddie Arcadian has abducted Vanessa Charles and has her sitting in his like living room with all of his goons and the chick was from the music video they're watching, and tortures poor Vanessa by making her watch this travesty of a music video. Holy shit,
she liked it, but there was still a no or something. I forgot.
No,
how she responded.
She didn't like it at all, but she was trying to play ball, you know. Like,
okay, because I thought like she was kind of trying to be nice to what's her name there.
Well, yeah, no, but
trying to be like,
the thing is like
you gotta be nice, like let's be nice and
whatever the fuck her name is, was totally like trying to get Vanessa out of the situation. She was just like, no, she's just tired. You know, it's late. It's the time. You know, she just needs some rest, Eddie. No. And I wish I could do her voice perfectly because it's super fucking annoying.
It really is.
Like Ray, you should put in a clip of her fucking voice somewhere in this episode. Like maybe then. Oh, Eddie, you're all wet. Like,
you know what? Actually, I think Roland asked me earlier if her song was in the soundtrack, but if I looked on Spotify, I didn't see it. I mean, you could probably find it on YouTube for sure. But the song that she sings in the movie,
dirty books, I found dirty books. Yep.
God, I forgot about how cringy that was.
That's the one.
I found a picture in your suitcase, or found my picture in your suitcase. Yeah. It was like something like I was confused because I didn't recognize my face or something like that. Like
it was really bad.
Then looking under his mattress and finding pictures and Polaroids that aren't her. And you could tell from the pictures that the chick wasn't an actress, you know? Yes, guys, I may have seen this movie a couple times in my life.
It's basically saying that he's jerking off or some shit like that. But anyways, so basically, this is they kidnapped her the first time around, right? This is where we're at.
This is the second time they
first time they grabbed her. Well, the first time they tried, and the Leeroy stopped
Leeroy
that.
shows up and like
second time.
he gives
dude the second time Leeroy's not fucking around, dude. He's got fucking blades and shit. So immediately kicks in. Guys reach for their guns, which is normal because if you're like bodyguarding any sort of like important dude, you're gonna like be like no response first. But then Leeroy is like, before you can reach your guns, potentially trained professionals, here's some knives in your hands.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, he had the weapons from the ninja from Ninja 3 Domination. I'm telling you, I mean, all up in his suit. I think he had like China stars, the fucking little darts, and all that kind of shit.
Fuck yeah, man.
I mean,
Leeroy did not fuck around, man.
He was loaded with weapons.
He was equipped, man.
Yeah, for sure.
He had nunchucks and stuff later, like.
And all this to the benefit, the fact that Laura Charles just got even thirstier to try and bang him after the fact, and he didn't.
And dude, I think there's totally a dick joke in that scene too.
On which one? Is it after the fact or during the fight scene?
So. No, after the fight scene, like when they're in her apartment, and she gets all thirsty, like, "Hey, you want a drink?" You know, like, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm horny," and then he like stands up and he's like,
"Yeah, time to go."
From the clock's chime to the cock's crow is but an instant. What? I must go. And then she says, "Cock's crow," and she kind of like chortles a little bit. So I was like, was that like a dick joke in this movie? Like his cock started crowing, and she's like, "I gotta bounce." Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the case was.
I'm not ready for my first kiss.
Harlem.
And Roland,
his friend or whatever who needs to learn moves. It's not him.
Well, yeah, I was gonna bring up that scene, Roland. You mentioned that the last time about that cringy scene when they're driving and he's trying to get her to give him advice on alleged friend of his that needs advice on how to make moves on a girl and stuff. And how that kind of like irritated you or some shit.
My friend who'd like to, because it was so stupid. It looks like a grown ass man asking, what the hell you should, when we're going out to dance night. And I'm confused. Get out of here with your fucking adult blank man tendencies. Like, hold on, this isn't right. Something's amiss in my pants. I must go and discover this problem. Where are you going?
I'm sorry. Speaking of the whole thirstiness between the two of them, there's one point in the movie where she takes him back to the Seventh Heaven studio, and she has made this video of
Bruce Lee shit.
It's a bunch of cuts of like the Chinese Connection and Fist of Fury, kind of like mixed in together, along with this Glow video or Glow song. And I don't know if we've talked about this, where like his excitement for this video is like a 12-year-old fucking child.
I mean, like,
wow,
he just completely forgets.
And that's how he was when like she first brought him out to her apartment, and he's like, that's wonderful or whatever, about how she had his fucking medallion or whatever, and he's just like, I'm above the moon, not like, I think this chick, shit, maybe.
I mean,
I did just save her life twice.
He didn't do this the first time he watched the movie or whatever, when he was there in the damn movie theater.
No, he was eating popcorn with chopsticks.
Exactly. So he was
just like, num.
He was distracted, but now because there's a girl there, it's easier for him to ignore her and focus on the movie. That's what he needs to fucking keep him normal. Popcorn and chopsticks. Like what does she do? Like he's watching that fucking montage or whatever, and like boning out and like learning and interpreting like some kind of message in the movie, and he runs off, right? And leaves her there, and she gets like super irritable.
In fact, she says, thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce. No dick for me. Like, there it goes out the door. Like, way to go. Cross cocks for luck, fellas. Garbage. Yeah, that was pretty funny. with bitchy Ritchie like looming on top of him or whatever, like a creep up in the rafters or whatever the hell, towards the ceiling. What does he do? Like, I mean, that's
he's hanging up on top of the ceilings, bitchy Ritchie, and he's like, she's telling him to get down, and she's telling him like a child. Obviously, he's a fucking child. And so Eddie Arcadian and his little goons come in, and he sees that, and he keeps saying like, "Get your hands off my woman," all that kind of shit.
Get your hands off
right.
my woman.
The whole time he won't, because the whole time he's trying to get with what's her name there,
Vanessa,
and what was it like?
He
has like a promotional in the beginning of the movie where contest to like go out on a date with her, and that's sort of where Ritchie's introduced.
Well,
and, like, that's his mission throughout the whole movie or whatever. He's trying to like get with this woman.
And Roland, you mentioned the last time is that like this little child is like acting like he's been pounding ass for the past couple of years, and he's making fun of Leeroy for being a virgin, apparently.
Yeah,
and he's telling him like he wouldn't know what to do with it if he had the opportunity.
If he got it,
what was the moves metaphor he makes? Like you're like a painter without a brush, or you wouldn't know what to do with the canvas, or like
you got to know the moves, baby.
There's like
you got to know the moves.
He tries to like fucking like inject his like retardo innuendo into anything. Like, look, man, you gotta know how to bake the bread or whatever. You gotta knead the dough first, or just like dumb shit like that. you know, that you hear from fucking children always trying to sound fucking cool. Like, what? So you like to fuck? Okay, I think I understand that one. Sure. Sound like
Word.
Sound like a fucking toddler or whatever. And I was trying to remember here. So like after that, where were we in the movie currently? Like
at this point where Vanessa Charles has been kidnapped again for the third time.
Yes.
Like was she like
successfully kidnapped for the second time?
Well, she gets kidnapped and so but the thing is she's been kidnapped and so has bitchy
right. So at this point
Ritchie.
she's getting bored with it or whatever. Just fucking tie me up already and drag me away.
Well, they have her kidnapped. Mind you, prior to this, Eddie Arcadian has been planning to fuck up Bruce Leeroy or Leeroy Greene, and he's hired a bunch of henchmen. Yeah, he's hired a bunch of henchmen to kind of like pretty much kick his ass, and he's also hired Sho Nuff,
like a barking Viking, a fucking a biker,
Goliath,
yeah.
Who ends up like getting all of his clothes ripped off and like he's like getting kicked down the
spanked and
stage.
Shit.
Yeah, getting spanked, fucking literally getting fucking spanked off the stage.
And he does hire Sho Nuff, but Sho Nuff refuses his money. And I think Roland, the last time you mentioned this is like, you get his ass to the designated place at the designated time, and I will gladly designate his ass
for
dismemberment.
For dismemberment, yeah.
That was such a great fucking line, actually, for a villain. This is why Sho Nuff is like one of the best villains of all time.
I realize. First of all, he's got the wardrobe, he's got the hair, he's got the attitude, he's got the delivery,
got the moves.
Yeah, he's got the moves. He would have been fucking Laura Charles, like.
Right.
I mean, those stunner shades. Come on, man.
From the minute she met him, she would have been whatever. Like she would have been intimidated and turned on. She wouldn't have been as thirsty, I guess, as she has been with fucking Bruce Leeroy the whole goddamn.
Well, no. See, if let's say like this all like happened.
This movie cover is it like 3 or 4 days or something?
Yeah, it's super quick.
It's maybe like a week. Yeah, maybe a week at the most.
Like a week. Okay.
So what if, like, let's say this movie actually happened, right? Like all these events, right? And then Vanessa Charles on, inspired by her meeting of Sho Nuff and the fucking they did, she became the songwriter with the major credits of "Face Down, Ass Up." That's the way we like to fuck, you know. Or Cookies and Cream, or any of those like stereotypical fucking songs. And that's because of what Sho Nuff, that's the Sho Nuff effect. I'm going to call it now.
The Sho Nuff effect.
The Sho Nuff effect.
There we go. Is Roland still there?
With them stunner shades. I don't know. Roland?
Yeah, I got to. I guess.
Oh, yeah, I saw a little blip here and there.
Yeah,
Speaking of blips, gonna grab a beer back.
All right.
So.
That was quick.
Hey, Roland, you see the pictures I posted?
Yeah, I have seen them before, eh? But,
yeah, me too.
Wait, it's always good for a pleasant reminder. What's the name of that? Vanity, right?
Yeah. Her songs are real shitty.
So, they are.
Oh, yeah, they're real terrible.
There was some trivia bit that I ran across that apparently Timac was asked like who he would want to act across and like become romantic with or whatever and kind of relationship, and he's like Vanity. Like I think she would be great, and that was how they cast her. It's like
for real.
That's it. Yeah, I don't know how accurate that statement is, but it was something I came across looking stuff about this movie.
So
and
that was just a rumor. Huh?
I mean, it could be, but like the way Timac acts or described like his time during this movie and like what life was like for him, I think he was around. I think he was around a lot of that the 80s culture or whatever.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, hold on. During the making of this movie, Timac was 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's fucking fucking young, dude. I mean,
he's around a lot of drugs, a lot of ladies.
I mean,
a lot of influences, you know.
Why wouldn't you take advantage of all that stuff at that time? You know, like, I mean, you're in New York. You're 19. You're 19. It's the 80s. You get to make out with vanity. I mean,
she's hired.
It sounds hard. Sounds like a rough life.
So difficult.
Yeah. It must have been, I'm sure. Wow, that struggle. So, what did
we left off in the where we're about to get to that last that main rumble in Seventh Heaven, and earlier we were introduced to a character named Johnny, which is someone who participated in the dojo that Bruce Leeroy taught at, and he's kind of a terrible martial artist, and his method. He
mastered the art of fighting without knowing how to fight.
That's right. And so in this one, when Bruce Leeroy was gonna go and try and rescue, I keep saying Vanity, but Vanessa Charles, he tricks Johnny into getting to the closet, and
do you not need a weapon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. He pretty much says he needs a weapon. He goes into the closet, locks him in there, and when Bruce Leeroy enters the studio, the Seventh Heaven studio, he is surrounded by the henchmen that were hired by Eddie Arcadian, and
there's like 100 dudes. Like, no shit.
There's a shit ton of people.
There's a multitude of fucking crushers of the Bruce Leeroy.
He pretty much starts kicking their ass for a bit, and then he, I guess, missteps at some point, and then
he gets a little overwhelmed. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden,
his students show up.
Dude, I tear up every time in that scene in this movie. I really do. I tear up a little bit because it's so beautiful. Like, just all the students coming to his aid in his time of need, man. It was like fucking it was like fucking Gandalf showing back up, man.
Daniel, I'm right there with you, man. It's kind of an emotional moment for me as well, because I mean,
you see
that,
all you guys. I tear up, man. I straight up just like that's beautiful, man. Like,
yeah, because they
really do care for him, man.
They're literally putting themselves in fucking danger. Even these kids.
Yeah. They're all like 18 and under.
Yeah. And that's when we get a hint of Ernie Reyes Jr., who was...
Oh, yeah.
The future, or the short-term future of martial arts movies.
Surf Ninjas.
Short-term.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2. Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2, yeah. He's in the costume in 1 and out front and center in Part 2.
Had like a bunch of cameos and all sorts of things since.
Right.
Last thing I saw.
Hey, man, you gotta eat, dude.
Right.
As the guerrilla operation, or the guerrilla gang of leader.
Well, so I mean, like, all these kids are kicking like all these dudes' asses, and then of course Johnny, the guy that we were introduced earlier, is gonna fight, and of course you think he's gonna get his ass kicked. No, like fairly easy, but he breaks out these nunchucks, in which he has a decent
badass
mastery
Bruce Lee
of.
scene.
Yeah, he has a pretty good mastery of, and
It really sucked. You fucked it up.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times, like practice, or how many takes they had to film to get that scene of him.
Well, they had 2 days to do it, man.
yeah.
So think about that.
Yeah, wow.
You know,
And that was a scene in this 2-day fucking
thing.
Has there ever been a time for you guys in any part of your life where you had access to nunchucks?
Yes. Several nunchucks. And several
when I was taking Taekwondo lessons, man.
Really? You didn't just have them even before you had no idea?
I tried to make them out of like sticks and like string and shit in the backyard, but like no, not like a proper.
Well, if I'm gonna say for myself, my uncle had those old type that have the foam on surrounding a stick of wood.
The practice ones that you could still like hurt the fuck out of yourself.
If you slap,
the foam ones,
no, but these had like a thick piece of wood in the middle. If you hit someone in the face with these fuckers, it still fucking hurt. I mean, there were those ones that you could buy.
You won't draw blood. You'll just like crack bone.
Well, there was those ones that had the foam and the light plastic in the middle. Which
see, those are ones I trained with.
No,
those also hurt.
No,
those were chill, man.
These were fucking thick foam with a thick ass stick of wood right in the middle.
Yeah.
And if you fucking hit someone over the head with that shit, goddamn, did that hurt? And there wasn't a string either. It was a fucking metal chain. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
wow.
It's because my uncle had like a bunch of like martial arts types of weapons because he had like He had a bunch of trophies that he won when he was doing martial arts back in the day, and but yeah, so like he had them kind of laying around his house. So every time we would go to his house, and we're gonna watch fucking Last Dragon or Breakin' or Ninja 3 Domination or whatever the fuck we're gonna watch, like everyone, and he had a pool in the back. So like at some point or another throughout the day or the evening,
you're kung fuing it in the pool.
Every cousin of mine passed through those nunchucks at some point because everyone thought they had the fucking chops to fucking break them out. And you see everyone do the same thing, side to side, over the shoulder, side to side, over the shoulder, side to side, over the shoulder, side to side, over the shoulder. And it's
between the legs.
Yeah.
Oh,
no one tried that. Right? No one tried that. But yeah,
no one was ballsy enough to fucking take that risk.
So I totally forgot a whole tangent I was going to go on about martial arts.
Did you remember now?
I do.
Go ahead.
Oh.
So I looked into, because I was like, well, what is like Chinese Goju? And we talked about it a little bit earlier how it's a Goju Ryu, which actually means hard soft style. So it refers to like hard like versus like closed hand versus like open hand techniques in the martial arts. But this was, and it was interesting because it ties to Only the Strong with capoeira, because this was a martial arts form that was like partially formed out of resistance, because you had a Japanese occupation of China for a while. And so just like capoeira, they would use things like the bow staff and another like farm implement were used to train with. So under the guise of like, this is a dance, or this is not like combat ready or whatever the fuck. So it's interesting how occupying forces help develop forms of martial arts, because Goju Ryu karate and capoeira are both formed out of like basically hiding fighting forms as a form of resistance or whatever. When it comes to Budokan karate, the Japanese military was also involved, because they found some guy who was like badass in he was like a weightlifting champion and a featherweight and lightweight champion in China or whatever, and this fucking Japanese officer who fucking knew Shotokan and Keishinkan, I think it's pronounced.
Okay.
And so basically this officer and this dude traded tuition fees to teach each other. And then this guy with the fusion of the combat styles he like learned, he fucking produced Budokan karate. Let's see. Kenpo was also interesting, but not military like generated, which I just find is an interesting trend, that some of these arts are all about nonviolence and shit, but they are kind of like born out of oppressive militaristic situations, and I find that funny. And sorry for that Darkwing drunk rant. It's way later in the program than I wanted to be.
Well, it has to do with martial arts, and we're talking about martial arts.
Yeah, but that track at all, like, did that kind of like make any sense? Like, because I'm not sure. I was just rambling. Like,
the bits of it I was able to follow. I didn't think that deep dive with you, so I can only speculate. It sounds very Asian knee. So,
Fuck you, Roland. Fucking goblin of the tower, man. Always.
It's just bringing back the.
It's throwing down the poop buckets.
just bringing everybody back to Earth. If you were out in space or if you were down in the rabbit hole with Daniel. Here we are again.
So, all right. We were at the
right before we get on. I want this on record, right quick. So that was a very interesting bullshit little ramble that mostly I went on and Roland responded to, and so Roland, go fuck yourself. Ray, carry on.
Carry on.
Okay, so we're at the last rumble. Again, we talked about the character as students coming to his rescue, and then he moves on to go and find Vanessa Charles.
Yeah,
and
who Eddie's like pulling along at gunpoint. You know?
And Bitchy Ritchie has escaped by doing his breakdancing moves to get out of his fucking.
Oh, that's right. The power of his crunk was
the power of breaking, man.
The power of crunk.
Fucking dance ropes or whatever. That was the fucking most ridiculous thing I've seen anyone in that film kind of do up to that.
So basically, Leeroy comes into contact with, I think it's Beast first.
Yeah, it's Beastie. Yeah,
first he's like the one main guy, and he pretty much beats the shit out of him.
Right hand,
no problem. Right, not after he throws Bitchy Ritchie into a little concussion.
Into concussion land. I'm not sure how that dude lived, because his fucking head hit that fucking oxygen tank or whatever the fuck it was, fire extinguisher
pretty hard,
or whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
It was you heard a dink, that kid should have been throwing up and Wednesday is sandwich day.
So again, Leeroy kicks Beast's ass, and then we move on to the main
Leeroy.
Yeah, the main.
You warmed
fighting.
Up yet?
Yeah, the main fight, which is Sho Nuff and Bruce Leeroy. And I don't know what else to say about this fight. Is that it gets pretty crazy after a while, and at some point, Leeroy's getting he's getting his ass kicked
the hell out of Leeroy.
Yeah, and at some point in this whole fight, Sho Nuff obtains the glow, the evil glow. It's a red,
the red glow,
the red evil glow
that sparks and shit on his hands.
Yeah. So
and he absolutely thrashes fucking Leeroy.
He does. He beats the shit out of him. Yeah.
Got some cool.
Almost kills him. Right. He's almost about to kill him.
Well, let's talk about that scene, man. And Eddie Arcade the whole time is cheering him on and shit, dragging Vanessa around until he ties her up one way to get a better view. But Sho Nuff is literally, there's a tank of water randomly in this warehouse, and fucking Sho Nuff is fucking drowning Leeroy in it, asking him because the biggest thing he wants Leeroy to do is declare him as the master.
That's right. And Leeroy still won't do it, and he's getting as he's being drowned in the water, he's getting flashbacks from his master and
Vanessa. From.
I'm pretty sure that he had a boner at some point.
Nothing but a coward, coward.
Yeah, from Bitchy Ritchie, the person who has a concussion right now.
Man, his head should have been cracked open like an egg. But whatever, he has to survive. Cool.
So basically, at some point, as he's being drowned, Leeroy musters up all this energy and obtains the glow.
He realizes that the master, he's there. He can attain the glow. Yeah. So he gets his little holy roller yellow glow.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
The true glow.
And I have a major complaint about this movie. So when Leeroy and Sho Nuff start fighting, when they both have the glow, when they interact, yellow and red makes purple, not blue. Those should have been purple fucking sparks, man.
Yes. They were great.
I'm wondering if there's like a forum, some kind of forum on the internet that discusses this exact thing.
I hope I'm not the only one who's like, this is problematic because if you follow the light spectrum and
Probably have to get on like 4chan or some shit to find something that goddamn.
You think on 4chan they're going to be specific about that kind of?
Yeah, well,
They might be.
That's where you might expect to find like the diehard,
the Spectrum fans, the color Spectrum people.
The true fans.
Yeah, what subreddit is this found on?
Darknet.
This is on the Darknet specifically.
Yeah, they're like, Barry Gordon's The Last Dragon revealed what we know about the light spectrum is bullshit because if you look at the interactions between red and yellow, it makes blue. But in nature, it doesn't do that. Tell me, if you go over the Crayolas on a paper and you mix them, what color does that make? It makes orange, motherfucker.
You know what's fucking hilarious is that if you saw this as a kid and then at some point you've seen the fight that they have and the sparks that are created whenever their glows like interact, and then you're a kid in school and you're using your crayons and you get this whole epiphany and you're in shock that that's not true.
That's not right.
It's not right.
Yeah, this is all bullshit. Wait a minute. That thing 9/11 that happened 20 years before I was born? You
go, what else is a lie? Tell me.
So in the battle of the fucking
chemtrails, man, chemtrails
versus the dark glow, what happens to Sho Nuff? Like his fingers start fizzing out or fizzling out.
Yeah, going.
Yeah, he has
like a bug zapper.
He has a bit of a shortage in the glow. His little glow electricity.
Change the batteries.
So I mean, basically, Bruce Leeroy kicks the shit out of Sho Nuff, and then Eddie Arcadian in his last attempt,
his desperate move to stop the menace that is Leeroy
Greene. He plays his trump card. The gun.
A 45.
Yeah, exactly.
And he shoots Leeroy in the most dramatic of ways. Leeroy falls slow motion to the ground, and everyone thinks that Bruce Leeroy is dead.
No.
Eddie Arcadian has a very arrogant chuckle.
And
yeah, Bruce Leeroy's dead. The end. See you next time on CineQuest Video.
Right. No sequel.
Thanks for listening, guys.
So basically what happens is that as he's walking up to his allegedly dead body, Bruce Leeroy automatically gets up or miraculously gets up.
He flips him over and then you see that like...
That's right. He has
his bullet teeth and a little yellow gleam passes around the
catches a bullet
circumference
with his
it.
teeth, right?
Yeah.
So the myths are true. Bruce Leeroy can catch bullets with his teeth.
My thing is like, why Eddie was not alerted to a problem when he was approaching the body, because if he shot with a 45 and hit him in the nugget, then there'd be back matter and brains and shit going out the back of his fucking skull. There'd be a fucking little trail of Leroy's fucking, inner chi all over the fucking place.
Well, maybe he just thought it was like an internal explosion, and like it was just so muscular that the bullet didn't leave the body. It kind of stayed within.
I would say just because plot. That's why he walked over.
Because of plot.
You're trying to inject reason and logic into this. Okay,
Roland, are you trying to tell me you've never?
You realize this is based on real events, right?
Roland, are you telling me you've never achieved the glow yourself, Roland? You've never achieved the glow?
No, if I was glowing like that, I'd be worried. Like I'd want to go to the doctor or some shit.
I received the glow when I was 15, Roland. So there.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't have because you're always 13.
Was it from?
Was it your 15th, 13?
It was my 15th, 13th birthday.
Your master, your
okay, gotcha.
Or whatever.
All right, that tracks now.
You went out and found a Chinese kung fu master to fucking.
He was Filipino, Roland. You racist son of a bitch.
Filipino.
And we got kicked out of that class. Thank you, because he and his friend fucked around too much.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
All right. So the end of the movie, basically, Leeroy saves the day. All right. He achieves the glow.
Yep.
He's his own master now. He's popping on Vanessa Charles. His brother's not that much of a dick anymore. And he gets to dance freely in Seventh Heaven Studio, where he's making moves on Vanessa Charles.
No, he's about to learn about.
He's about to learn.
moves.
Sorry, yeah, right. The movie ends with him screaming to the top of his lungs in front of everyone.
Show me the moves.
Show me the moves or something like that.
Can you teach you some moves or something like that?
Right.
Can you guys imagine the first time they fuck and she's like, "Here's how you put a condom on," like,
They're not
like bitting it on him or whatever. Like, oh, you have the glow.
This is an unrealistic
situation. You have the glow.
Everybody knows. They're doing raw glow styles.
So sexual.
There you go. They even made it that far.
But do you think that he would like be like, "Hey, that's not cool," when she calls him master in bed?
Right? He's like, please don't do that.
That hurts our people, not just me.
All right.
Last Dragon Part 2. Leroy joins the Black Panthers and fights against the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
He singly takes down another dragon.
White dragon. Oh.
A grand dragon.
No, he just ends up chasing the dragon. Woo! Yeah. like all others of his era. That's what happens to all the greats.
But no, so listeners, if you're still with us, really, this movie is amazing. If you like martial arts at all, like it's a great movie. Like don't like fucking. You can just totally skip the plot and shit, but just the fight scenes are amazing. Well, because you got to fit in the badass last fight scene that took up like 5 minutes. Can't cut that.
So did the scene where he was talking to her about like trying to learn some moves, and the parent, like I think family only came out in their entirety in two scenes, right? When they meet in like their house and at the pizzeria.
And then when they get their place fucked up by Sho Nuff and his goons.
Yeah. I think they could have gotten rid of the first meeting or whatever there at in the house and just kept the pizzeria thing to like show them. That would
actually they could have had another Sho Nuff scene in there actually where he's like, Leroy,
give Mo Nuff.
Oh, and so I was thinking about it today. I was like, we should totally come up with a MoQuest chant similar to the Sho Nuff, like, who's the funniest? MoQuest. Who's the wittiest? MoQuest. Who's the silliest drunkards around this town? MoQuest. What's my name? MoQuest. What's my name? MoQuest. I can't hear you. MoQuest.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I just haven't developed it quite yet, but I have been thinking about it this afternoon.
Could use a little work. There's
Roland, I don't need your negativity right now. I'm trying to build something beautiful, okay?
Just injecting a dose of realism into this. It's not.
Oh, you call it realism. Other people call it Mr. Nancy, negative Nancyism.
Same thing.
Okay, so since we've come to the end of this movie, I want to go over a little trivia, which we did the last time.
Oh, shit. Actually, one little thing about the movie that I was wondering today. So the cops that arrested Eddie at the end of the movie, was the cop on the left the same actor that played Rock? He had his fucking like face down like the whole time, like the cap kind of obscured the top part of his face, but it's like the same kind of framed dude. So it's like for them to cut down on extra actors and shit and like let him have a little bit of redemption, even though he's playing another character,
I honestly don't know. I didn't really catch that.
Dude, I'm going to try to screenshot that right now and send it to you guys and see what you think. So I'm going to be kind of listening to The Last Dragon right now, so give me a sec.
All right, let me go over some of this trivia here. Okay, so we said in the introductory sequence in which Leeroy Greene was doing the karate chops to catch the arrow, that was a stunt that took 2 hours. And Billy Blanks was originally considered for the role of Leeroy.
Oh, yeah, I did read about that at one point.
Wow.
Yeah. And with his watery eyes, he was on verge of crying on every scene. This is... let me see here. Let's see here. Let's hold up, put up. There's something else I read here. Yeah, y'all.
Goddamn! So I'm watching
mentioned
the last scene of Last Dragon right when the cops show up, and yeah, Vanessa looks so thirsty.
Yeah,
she likes biting her lip at Leeroy. Just
it could be all the drugs.
Y'all did mention that the character of Angela, was patterned after Cyndi Lauper, which is Eddie Arcadian's girlfriend. And then we also had Vanity was the first and only choice to play Laura Charles. And Denzel Washington auditioned for both Leeroy and Sho Nuff. Can you imagine that? And it said Wesley Snipes auditioned for the role of Leeroy Greene, and Lawrence Fishburne lobbied hard for the role of Leeroy Greene. Ugh.
Wow.
I don't know how that would have turned out if that was the case, but it is what it is.
Better.
Better? I don't think so.
I mean, it's interesting, like, to hear that.
Can you imagine that big face being Leeroy Greene? I don't think so, buddy.
I mean, I can imagine, like, Wesley Snipes, Lawrence Fishburne.
Nah, no way.
I mean, well, Lawrence Fishburne was good as Morpheus. That was kind of later on. Quite a bit, actually, later on, like almost 20 years later, that he fit pretty well.
There in the Discord, the best shot I could have of potentially Rock as the cop.
Okay.
Man, I can't really tell.
No, it's super hard, man. And that was the best shot I could fucking grab, man. Like,
okay, so
but it made me wonder.
Okay, so we're gonna go over our ratings here again. Last Dragon movie, 1985, rated PG-13, action comedy drama, March 22nd, 1985, as we said, directed by Michael Schultz, and stars Timac, Vanity, and Christopher Murney. And this rating on IMDb has a 6.9 out of 10. And as always, we go through a 1 out of 5 or 0 out of 5 rating. So I'm going to start with Roland. I don't recall what you gave the last time, but if you can.
I don't either, but it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna throw it, keep it fresh for now. I was gonna give it like a 2.7.
2.
I didn't hate this movie.
What the fuck, you, Roland? I thought we were friends.
That was lower than the last time, Roland. I'm gonna keep your first.
It's, good it's still what I consider a good rating. All right, I'm
gonna keep your first.
It's not shit. This isn't a shitty movie by most means. I would say, like, his little fucking brother Ritchie just annoys the shit out of me, but he's supposed to. Like, there's a lot of jokes in here that are kind of like off color, which I also love, and they're funny as fuck. Some dumb goy or whatever being a made up master that it turns out to be a computer that prints out fucking Chinese fortunes or whatever for the cookies, kinds of stuff is among other like little scenes that they pull out, you know, where fucking Bruce Leroy teaches teaches those 3 Chinese dudes that he meets on his search for the master how to
play craps with hopscotch. Yeah,
craps,
it's fucking hilarious.
Soul Brother number 1.
Persona.
Soul Brother number 1. You want to know how to play it down in Harlem with Soul Brother number 1?
Yeah, that's right. So many. So hey, yeah, I like that.
What it look like? Hey, my man, what it look like? That was a fucking hilarious scene. So in this movie, there's a scene where Leroy's trying to infiltrate the 3 dudes we talked about earlier very briefly. We didn't really talk about these scenes at all.
Because there's really not much there to it. Like, really.
But they're supposed to like be basically the gatekeepers between him and the master. So he shows up to them as like with a pizza from his parents' place, and he's trying to like basically act like urban, which is fucking funny. So he tries out different voices,
So
like
he pops his collar, puts on a fucking
like,
what is he
hey,
wearing like a fedora or something.
he's wearing like a fucking fedora and then like a mesh shirt, like.
Yeah.
And he's trying different voices. So he's like, hey, my man, what it look like? Hey, my man, what it look like? And then when he enters the door, he's like, hey, my man, what it look like?
Yeah, finally settles on a character to run with.
Oh, shit.
But these guys are like grilling him and shit. They're like, ain't you the same coolie we seen earlier? He's like, no, we just look all alike.
Yeah.
So that's why some of the off-color jokes you enjoyed, Roland, because those are
Yes, I
fucking
did.
funny as fuck. And
That was one of my favorites.
they're like, why don't you stick around with us? And because the master ain't here right now, why don't you hang out with us? Like, smoke some herb, drink some wine. And then he's like, oh, no, thanks. I've had too much already.
That was
And that's what turned around. They're like, soul brother. Yeah.
the whole time.
Shit.
So Sho Nuff was fucking awesome. Like I loved that. Like I was waiting for him to bust out the glow from like the beginning of the movie. When he finally does, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now beat the shit out of each other. Vanessa's character was okay, like as a prop. She pretty much didn't really have anything to do in the movie besides like looking hot and helping to push the story along for the most part, and being mighty thirsty or whatever.
Very thirsty
throughout the whole ordeal.
She's in a drought. Please toss her a canteen.
She is straight up fucking like Great Depressioning this shit like crazy. She needs
Dust Bowl Kansas up in this bitch.
She needs to fucking hydrate her vaginus, and so that's her goal throughout this whole movie, and she finally gets it.
Like people in the Middle East and Sahara are going like, that bitch.
Right.
We will send her water.
Get her loaded up
to water her vaginas. This fucking guy.
or powder it or puff it or whatever,
It's
like,
not perfect lubrication, but it'll help.
Right, exactly. It'll help save. She needs lubricant for that thirst.
You'll chafe otherwise.
Exactly. Horrible. So let's see. There really wasn't anything about this other that I could say like I genuinely hated. There were little bits and pieces I disliked, like I said, but that's because these characters were very like straightforward and meant to fulfill certain roles. Bruce Leroy's the innocent hero or whatever, going along his journey through life and kung fu. Ritchie is like the fucking just like streetwise smart ass who's just trying to like pull some trim or whatever the fuck throughout the whole thing. Like, and the family is just there as like a I guess a plot, a story base or whatever. Like, oh, this is where they come from. This is like where they're situated in life currently or whatever. And then you have the fucking villain, which that's pretty much it. Like they're the ones that are in their story in Bruce Leroy's fucking world or whatever, and they're just sort of reacting to these fucking situations, right? So there wasn't any of that I was just like, this is too stupid or
Roland.
Like, right, I'm done.
I thought of a new podcast series for MoQuest where Roland describes movies like this, like Star Wars, like. Yeah, there's some like fucking, rightfully correct, governments, and there were some asshole like rebellion dudes, and there's this guy who lived on a farm and
fucking fall in line.
He was all thirsty for his sister.
You know what?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what it all boiled down to: sibling incest, and like from that develops the saviors of or the themes or the elements to save the universe.
And see that, and that's just a proxy for like how the Anunnaki integrated themselves into desert societies, because they're like, bang your sisters, but like your sisters are banging us too. So actually, the babies are going to be yours, kind of.
Yes.
And
Still
and then
safe
that's how
that
you get the
way.
Hanovers and fucking Clintons and shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the Habsburgs.
Well, Daniel, what is your rating for The Last Dragon?
All right, so this is absolutely one of the best movies ever produced in
Agreed.
the history of cinema. So I'm giving
Glad
it.
I
All
went
right, guys,
first.
give me a second. I'm giving it 5. Chinese Goju is my secret. I bear no arms. May God help me if I ever have to use my art. Conscience is our guide. Peace is our shelter. Beauty and perfection is our lives.
So 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fucking 5 out of 3, man. I don't give a fuck. This movie's amazing. Above and beyond, man.
I'm pretty
This
sure
movie
you've
is
seen you've sung its praises many a time. So for me, I'm gonna do the same and give it a 5 out of 5. I fucking love this movie, and I've seen it multiple times throughout the years, and it never gets old to me. Sho Nuff is one of the greatest villains of all time, and Leeroy Greene's he's okay, but I mean like.
And we could have done this last year for our Black superheroes theme for SinQuest.
Technically, we had a discussion about that on whether or
We
not
did. We really did. But it just, for some reason, we put this movie off for so long, and whatever.
True,
I guess the time was right, and we did it.
Word.
So twice.
Yeah. And again, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you can hear both versions of the episodes, or the original version and this one as well. So,
Sure.
let me see. I was gonna say something else, but I completely forgot.
What was your rating again?
Mine was a 5 out of 5. Hello, come on now. Oh,
Just
what we're gonna do, which we did on the last one, which I want our listeners to. We're gonna rate our villains. We're gonna rate our villains as of right now.
Oh, I want another one. I want to do too. 1 second. I need to fire Firefox Forest. You know what I'm doing, guys.
So we're gonna rate our villains up until this point that we've had.
Ray goes first because I can't remember all the villains right now.
Okay, so so far our villains for January we did do Only the Strong, which had Silverio. Then we had Lopan, and now we have Sho Nuff. So we have 3 villains.
That's tough.
And Roland, I think we pretty much summed it up, and it was gonna be Sho Nuff, Lopan, and then Silverio so far. Like that's the rating. So Sho Nuff is number 1.
And Eddie Arcadian, technically, I guess.
Well, Eddie Arcadian would be at the bottom of that list as one of the shittiest villains, because first of all, you got Sho Nuff being a badass, wearing football pads.
Eddie Arcadian was like the reverse henchman for Sho Nuff.
Yeah, so I mean, then in that case, since we technically have 2 villains in this movie, it's going to be Sho Nuff so far. Again, disagree with me if you will. It's Sho Nuff number 1, Lopan number 2, Silverio at number 3, Eddie Arcadian at number 4.
I'd have to say
I completely agree.
I mean, like, the only reason Lopan isn't lower on there than Silverio is because Lopan has cool powers and like crazy ninjas and stuff. Like, he is basically Vanessa from The Last Dragon. Like, in that
he's thirsty
throughout the whole. He's thirsty as fuck for the whole movie, and that's what's gonna get him his power and bring him back to life and fix everything. All he needs is a girl to let him into her vagina.
I forgot we need to play.
So yeah, Lopan is kind of bitch made there that way. What is I don't even remember. There have been many times that I've tried or whatever to get laid.
Yeah, there have been many.
And none of them worked for shit. Rejected. And so
I'm grabbing a beer right quick, but there's another game we forgot to play this episode. I hope you guys figure it out by the time I'm back.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think you know. And I think you know, so I'll be right back.
Probably. I don't think there was anything to search for, though. Hold on. Let me have a incognito mode. Last Dragon. What do we got? Doop-a-doo. What does Pornhub say about The Last Dragon? Absolutely nothing.
all I see is like teacher gives a student a good ass humping on the last day of school. The Last of Us Part 2. Lesbian ass eating
Dragon
between
gets
tests.
fucked. Internal camera, bad dragon.
Dragon gets fucked.
Fucks and comes deep in ass. Sexy dragon ear eating challenge. Milp. Mlip. Evil dragon. The last watch with Daenerys turns into intense fuck and me.
Hey, everybody.
Haven't seen anything. Lesbian ass eating between last of no. That's
Okay, so here are the entries I found.
Okay, so the one of the games that we had intentionally tried to play throughout these episodes was Does It Porn Parody, and this is our Pornhub results for The Last Dragon. So,
oh yeah, that's what we were going through
Yes.
there, rattling off. None of it has to do anything.
There are some dragon things involved in my search.
Yeah,
the dragon in the pants.
well,
Dragon gets fucked.
Dragon gets fucked. 88%.
Yeah,
Enjoy this.
yeah. The magic of dragons. Straight
Part 3.
Yeah.
Sexy dragon ear eating challenge. You won't last 5.
Mip Evil Dragon by Hooves Art. I don't know what that is.
Aletta Ocean backstage fucking big cock.
The magic of dragons part 3. Yeah.
Dildo. It's cool if you're into that. Still not what we
Internal
were looking for.
camera, bad dragon, Flint fucks and comes deep in my ass. Lots of cum.
There's did you see this?
Turn on video. I'm going to investigate.
Dragon it out. Did you all see that?
Aha.
Dragon.
Nice.
Yeah. The magic of dragons.
Dragon balls.
Let me see. The magic of dragons part 2.
Smoking
the
hot redhead right
Fuck, man.
Dragon.
Holy shit. I'm 10 seconds into this video and
Redhead dragon fucking dripping cum.
Dragon furry porn.
where's my Discord link? Oh, there it is. So there's that for you guys.
Jesus Christ. What is this? Internal camera bad dragon.
I don't know how you masturbate to
I
this.
read that was one of the ones I read earlier. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. And I think it's like some people like that all internal stuff.
Dude, how does someone get a camera in there? That's my kind of.
I don't know. I have so many questions. Oh, and then this little plastic thing is bursting all sorts of cum in this chick, I guess.
I am glad with the fact, but it looks. It looks
now
healthy.
it's like a spray hose.
It does look healthy,
Yeah, it's COVID safe, I guess.
Right. It's a nice color. Very healthy.
Wow, that was disappointing.
This just looks like a medical video.
Yeah,
probably, dude.
But now with that toy that I keep seeing.
So, safe to say we've been unsuccessful in our.
Yeah, so
yes,
the movie The
so
Last
accurate.
Dragon
Soldier currently
is not or does not porn parody. That's unfortunate. Boo.
But
This video.
Boo, I say. Boo, we say, actually.
All right. Does anyone have anything else to add about this movie before we sign off?
Go watch it, guys. If
Yeah,
you
do
haven't
that.
seen it, go watch it. Just
Do that,
check
please.
it out, man.
By the way, looking at the search results, I'm I think on page 3, trying to take the XXL dragon nut, and that looks scary. So,
Well played.
yeah, go watch this movie. Enjoy it. I'm almost certain you will. Anyone that I've recommended this movie to has enjoyed this movie, even if they've never seen it before. This is not a bad movie. This is very enjoyable. So go watch it. Unless you're Jamie, then he probably hates this movie.
Probably.
Well,
Unfortunate for
that's
him.
Jamie for you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. So, follow us on all social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And again, subscribe to our Patreon if you're so inclined to throw us $1 or $2 to hear any sort of exclusive episodes or unedited episodes or any episodes that we fucked up and we just throw on there so y'all can listen to how not perfect of a
how we're growing.
Yeah, how not perfect of a host or actually contributors that we all are, and how much we fuck up on a regular basis. So you can hear that. And let me see what else. We might check out our other episodes. We also have Anatomy Mixtape for all your mixtape music needs. Valley Strange for anything paranormal, conspiracy or alien related. And we also have Fat Food for Fat People, discussing all kinds of fat related items, food, drink. And our most recent episode that we did was Top 5 Cereals. If you're a fan of cereal, you should check that out. And there should be videos soon up on YouTube at some point or another. Anything else to add, guys, before we sign off?
No. Got it.
No, just thank you for whoever's stuck on and listened to us through our bullshit or just downloaded us or whatever. If you just download us, I guess you won't hear this, but whatever. Thank you anyway.
Yes, thanks for listening. We appreciate everyone who does listen. And if you have a movie suggestion, feel free to message us at moquest@gmail.com or at any of the social medias. You can direct message us, and we'll consider the movie that you suggest. If you have a particular villain that you think is superior than the ones we've talked about so far, go ahead and recommend it.
And face it, guys, we'll probably do it.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah, we will do it.
Like, you want True Lies, we'll do True Lies. You know, like
just so we can talk about the scene with Jamie Lee Curtis when she strips.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So signing off. My name is Ray, and in Elsa.
Oh, this is Roland.
No, in the Central South Texas.
Sorry, excuse me, the Central South Texas
office.
Studio offices.
Ray. From Who Cares Elsa, me, and what was your location again, Daniel?
The Pacific Northwest studios of MoQuest.
Yeah. Pacific Northwest Division of MoQuest Studios. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we all have very nice studios at our locations, you know, like all room treated. We have fancy TVs, we have beer.
It's like everything I've ever bought in my life is in this room.
Right.
They do so well at MoQuest to supply us with what we need to have the ambiance we need, you know, like
for this luxurious service we provide to you, the listener.
And I'm going to mention them again just because, like, Founders Ale or Founders Brewing Company, we love you. We really do.
We really do. Again, I did finish my Founders DKML.
How was that, man? And like, what kind of style of beer was that anyway? Like, because I know nothing about the DKML.
It is one of my favorites. I don't get it often because it's fairly expensive, but it's an imperial malt liquor aged in bourbon barrels, and it is 14%. But it is delicious. And actually, if you drink even 2 or 3 of these, that's literally all you need, man. And it'll send you to a good place.
Oh yeah, I mean, at some point I'm going to get into those KBS espresso stouts from Founders once again,
right on.
And
again,
probably get a little drunk.
Again, Founders, we love you. If you are so inclined to either send us some beer or maybe a coupon for some beer, would be nice. That'd be nice.
Hey,
we'll take whatever, man.
We'll take
send
whatever.
us a fucking like a bar napkin with a fucking message saying, "Thank you, dudes. Founders Brewing." Even if it's one of our like fans pranking us, we'll appreciate it.
Yeah, it's very true.
And you can send that to Jamie's address, which is just kidding. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't do that.
I don't remember his address either. But that's our central division of MoQuest Studios. But again, we'll see you next time for In the Mouth of Madness. Enjoy.
Indeed. And we all stopped talking about the last dragon. Ray, tell Craig to shut up now.
Shut that